Good morning, everyone. It is 8:30 on Thursday, August the 13th, and it's morning briefing time. First of all, no changes to the National Terrorism Advisory System overnight. Snapshot of the region, you see updated numbers from earlier this week. Unaccompanied children. 4 disaster declarations are listed there. No ongoing damage assessments and no fire management grants this morning. As we switch over to the Geo platform today, things are relatively quiet around the region, not quite so many colors. Mark will give us an update on the weather here in just a moment. First of all of our state, regional, and national watches are all at level 4 today. They stood down because of the National Watch stood down from the Enhanced Watch there for the Pacific storms. No changes to the status of our IMAX. Got no shelters to talk about this morning, but we do have some power outages. All the states except for Texas are less than 600. Texas has 4,200 power outages. 2,000 of those are in Rockwall County, and the rest are in Orange County due to some storms yesterday. Before we go on to Mark, looking over at the sludge coming down the river there in New Mexico. New Mexico records there have been no fish kills, although they have seen some stained birds. There is no impairment to the ability of those birds to fly. So the ugly-looking orange sludge so far has not had a disastrous effect, although they are continuing to monitor the wells and stuff like that. It hasn't impacted the wildlife yet. So now we'll turn it over to Mark to tell us about the weather.
And a very good morning, everybody. Pretty quiet this morning across most of Fema 6 overnight. We did see some locally heavy rainfall in portions of Harris County and towards Liberty County, where we did see very localized 3 to 4 inches of rain, but that has all moved offshore. And for the most part, pretty free of precipitation across the region for this morning. We still do have some heat advisories over south central Texas for today for heat index temperatures getting up to around 105 to 110 degrees. Still going to be hot across most of Fema 6 today and for the next several days, but just not quite as hot as what it has been. So as we go ahead and take a look at the 5-day threat matrix, pretty much sums everything up. Overall, pretty quiet across the region and really not looking for too much in the way of any significant weather. And on to the tropics, still very quiet. Just incredibly quiet, in fact, for this time of year across the Atlantic, and nothing for the foreseeable future. And as far as rainfall is concerned across the Fema 6, there you see the lower right hand. Most of the region is going to be dry over the next 6 days. You can pretty much make out where that upper level high is located over Oklahoma and into North Texas, Arkansas, where it remains dry. And then around the periphery of that, along the Gulf Coast and into South Texas and then into New Mexico, we'll see some precipitation, but really nothing too heavy is expected. And we do have the new drought monitor that is out for today. And unfortunately, we've seen the severe drought creep back into most of southern Louisiana and into portions of East Texas, with the moderate drought basically covering about the eastern quarter of Texas and the western quarter of Louisiana. Unfortunately, it does look like we will see a pattern change starting the middle portion of next week and then into the following weekend. So hopefully we'll start to see at least a chance for some rainfall across these areas. A lot of these areas have not seen any rain going on about 40 to 50 days or so. So obviously just been very, very dry over the last month and a half to 2 months. And on to space weather, still very quiet. Really no impact there. So that concludes my portion of the briefing. Paul, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. If you have a question for the Weather Service, go ahead and type it in the chat window. If you're on the phone, ask the questions. In the meantime, we take a look at what's going on around the region this week, and you do see today's event highlighted in bold there. Looking forward to what's going on next week. And the question of the day, true or false? Low pressure in the center of a tropical storm causes the storm surge. Anybody want to take a shot at that one this morning? I see Gary typing. And the answer is, you got it, Gary, false. The wind speeds, high wind speeds at the surface, causes the storm surge. Any questions this morning? All right, everyone have a great Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.